All right, and now we're gonna be getting into the final match of the day: Firestorm versus Gigawhat.
All right, the scheduled marquee matchup: Tier 1 versus Tier 2. Firestorm coming in only 1 game lost. Giga has a lot of pressure on them right now to pull the upset for this set, currently being 1-1 with Jen sitting comfortably in a 2-1 set count. Firestorm doesn't really have too much pressure on this, but if they're able to get, a sweep against Gigawhat, I believe they would be tied for 2nd seed in the top 8, which, considering that right now we've got Uyeshota, Akashi Robo, and the likes already in that top 8 seeds, you don't really want a bottom 8 seed and risk running into them. So winning this set for Firestorm would be very nice, especially quite a big gap between the Firestorm and Gigawhat's game wins. But Giga is in a bit of a tight spot just with the upset from Jen. And again, all the pressure's on them right now. It's not really a fun place to be. But again, like in any case, all eyes on you. Is Giga going to have the clutch factor and pull off the upset? We're going to have to wait and see. But it's getting started very, very shortly. And I am very excited to see if Giga's got it still in the tank for the
Can Gigawhat perform the act known as gaming? Only time will tell. Alright, going into things. Giga's going to start out with TKI instead of a 6-3. Oh, interesting T-spin. Oh, this is like a very strange continuation, but one I am very welcome to see.
It looks like some of there's a setup I know in TD openers where you get like a floating T-spin triple on top of like MS2. It looks like one of those setups where no one really knows how to use it and most people are just too terrified to use it. But Giga is just showing no fear and just going for it. Like, I need to pull out all the stops in order to make sure that I get this dub. And only accepts a little bit of garbage from Firestorm. I think it was a Perfectus on their end.
Yeah.
Firestorm does lead in points, so they do have the weights in terms of phase 3. However, Giga does hit max zone first.
And Giga is not too far behind, thinking about what to accept here. That L misdrop hurts so much for Giga. Oh no. Into phase 3, Giga has to take a lockout here.
Another misdrop. No, 3 and 4. And unfortunately, Giga's board is out the door as Firestorm takes the first game. 129 over 135. More attack per piece than they were placing them. Absolutely incredible efficiency.
That's crazy. Firestorm, known as like one of the most efficient players to ever do it, and definitely showcasing that here. Oh, Giga with a couple of misdrops. That's really rough.
I think the pressure's getting to Giga, trying to play really fast to keep up with Firestorm, but it's not going to be worth it if you're not able to place the pieces. Right, and Firestorm starting with a very low zone. Again, not always the best, but when your speed is this great, you can kind of just build the entire board in 20-25 seconds. More T-spins to be had. Almost perfectly clean 60 from the Perfectress. And Giga is now going into zone as 14 lines. Could really use an ulti if you're able to get it. Not quite, but 56 Perfectress will keep off all the damage that Firestorm has put on in the past 10 or 15 seconds or so. Alright, another wee bit of a misdrop from Gigawhat, but still doing okay. Has a hole in the stack, but just gonna take it anyways, just wanting that instant damage as much as possible. It is getting really tight as Firestorm sends it into phase 3. Giga only has a 3/4 zone. Firestorm is going to top zone, but there is a little bit of messiness to their stack. Can't quite go for the T-spin triples that they were hoping for. And on Giga's side, Giga is maintaining really good efficiency. And 51 Perfectress, and there's not really zone for Firestorm to counter this. That's gonna all have to be eaten.
Oh, that's rough for FS. Can get the T-spin at the top, but there's no room to continue there. And like that,
yeah.
Giga ties it up.
Yeah, 104 to 108 APM, but the zone APM per piece was so much more different. Giga getting so much more mileage out of the zone meter and going to be evening the set up 1-1 as an immediate all-clear comes out from Gigawhat.
Yeah, Firestorm forced to deny touches of their own just to cancel off some of that.
Ooh. Giga is looking for the eyepiece. There we go. Gets down towards the middle point of their stat. Still going for T-spins. Definitely a bit more greedy on the side of riskiness. But I guess in the case where you're trying to beat a player like Firestorm, you might have to be greedy in places where you're not really the most comfortable for, just to get things going your way. And
FS is going to build an entire side 4-wide here.
Only 23 Octarus from Giga. Firestorm not going to get
61 from the 18 on that side 4-wide. Giga
and a miss.
Can't accept it.
Missed hard drop as well. Firestorm going to retake the lead. Again, the drops per minute and attack per minute is so close between the two stats. Just unbelievable that Firestorm has been playing so efficient, especially seeing where they were coming from last year. Alright, we've got triple-double opener coming out from Gigawhat. Answered with some, I think this was, I guess now 5-4 from Firestorm. Looks like they might be transforming their well soon to accommodate a 4-5 stack based on the new incoming garbage. There we go, we see the transition has been made. Gigawhat gets down to their well. Looks like they can carry out a 5. No, I guess a 6-3 now based on the garbage. I think might have been a misplacement, so they're going to skim into zone in order to help clean things up. Trying to keep back-to-back. 62 Perfectress from Firestorm.
Firestorm just did T-spin after T-spin there.
Oh, and Giga unfortunately does not get the curve was 1 Mino shy. However, the 50 ulti is definitely going to be enough to keep the pressure off for the time being. Oh my goodness, and Firestorm sends it to phase 3, but has to accept the garbage.
Accepts quite a bit.
Ready to send a lot of it back, but again, because Giga has had a superior board state going into phase 3, I think was a little bit more well-equipped in order to accept some of those later rather than earlier. Alright, combos in, or zones in the one of them.
Yeah. Gets 40 attack out of that. FS, however, has a lot of room to work with. And this zone looks really, really efficient.
Oh, 18. 52 Perfector. However, Giga has fully neutralized, and they're at a half zone meter. And although there's a lot of garbage on the board, a half zone meter is going to be a very lovely accommodation to this board state. Oh my goodness, and there's a huge combo coming out from Gigawhat. I think that went to 8 or 9. And now look at Firestorm with almost half the board in garbage. Alright, and before Firestorm is able to send a massive spike, threatening Gigawhat's very clean board, Giga is going to let off a zone. Oh no, but that's a terrible misdrop! And now all of the momentum is in the Firestorm's wheelhouse, as Gigawhat has to do a lot of work trying to clean up this board state. Oh, and another. I think that might have been another misdrop. At the very least, Giga has been doing a phenomenal job getting T-spins out of dire situations.
Oh, but builds that TST and there's no way to get down.
That is, oh my goodness, but that T-spin triple was all they needed to stay alive, but they're doing so just barely.
Oh, and that misdrop.
And Firestorm going to take their third game, fighting just tooth and what is it, tooth, inch, nail, something? I don't know. They're fighting with just about everything they have. But in the end, Firestorm going to clutch out, even with a little bit of early disadvantage in phase 3. Giga still 6 away from the set, can only give up 3 victories. And a little bit of early misdropping. I shouldn't have called it out. This is still really tight from Giga, and unfortunately doesn't want to use zone. Doesn't want to be in that disadvantaged state, but unfortunately, a topped-out board is going to be their fate, which is even worse, arguably. Firestorm now 3 wins away from claiming the set, and I guess, yeah, could potentially go in with a very nice record. If Firestorm is able to win the next 3, they will have only dropped 2 games, which I think would be a third-place seed, if I remember group stages correctly. Given that they've dropped 2, they can't really do too much against the Uyeshota Akashi Robo matchup in terms of seeding. However, a lot of the other matchups between top seeds, I think the next closest would be a Rocky, which I believe was dropping 4. Although I could be mistaken. So, especially for Firestorm, if they're able to try and continue this momentum, this will be very impactful in continuing a strong run through top 16. However, Giga wants to make it in the top 16 and needs to win this set in order to do so. Ooh, Firestorm's getting a little bit high up, is able to access the garbage wheel in time to avoid having to pop an early zone. However, Giga is very low on the board. Has done a really good job managing things. There's an all clear, and that's going to force quite a bit.
All clear the zone.
All right, and here we go. Can we get 2 all clears? We cannot get the second. Maybe we can get it in just a second. However, Giga is building some phenomenal T-spins on top of the all clear. If they're able to get an ulti, this is going to be huge. Unfortunately, no, but it's a 50 Deca Hexatris. And Firestorm retaliates with a 53 of their own. And just, oh my goodness, from Firestorm, they're absolutely killing it with this efficiency. Oh no, I think that could have been another missed shot potentially from Giga's board. It's getting really dire between the two. Beautiful T-spin setups coming out of Giga. Look at that, and another
cross. Giga denies the last T-spin to go for this huge combo. Charges up zone here. Firestorm may be low on the board, but Giga has...
Oh, and the combo as well. My goodness, Giga is just pulling out all the stops. It is incredible how much they have been able to get out of terrible disadvantage states with these builds. Alright, not quite going to get a Deca Hexatris, but 37 out of a Dodecatris is still nothing to snuff at. Firestorm having a little bit of trouble making the eyepiece work. That zone's going to end a little bit preemptively, but it doesn't even matter. And Gigawhat with it, quite a heavy speed advantage, but Firestorm and their efficiency has been absolutely out of their minds. And they're currently sitting 5-1, very poised to potentially take this next couple games and earn a very solid spot in top 8 of, or at least top 16 on the higher side of seeding going into our final bracket. Oh, careful with this eliminations. This is getting really high up on the board. Again, I know Giga's got to play so risky, but it's so terrifying to watch because, you know, just 1 or 2 slip-ups could be the difference between a top-out and an advantage state.
Just as you said that, Giga slips up and that singular O.
126 over 130 from Firestorm. Gigawhat has been doing so tremendously well, but Firestorm just the wall of efficiency. I can't think of any other way to describe it.
They're built different for sure. They're like playing just out of this world right now.
The stack's built different, and they are surely built different given that. Okay, Gigawhat does have a sidewall that they're able to get to. It's a bit inconvenient that it will make the T-spins a little bit harder to kind of solidify. However, when you zone this low on the board with ZR garbage, you don't need to worry about where the garbage is.
Yeah, and Giga with the speed and like phase 1 has the option to build at the very bottom. Let's see what he can get out of this.
On line 13. Oh, this is an ulti.
Oh, there's an ulti.
Yeah, there it is. 70 from Gigawhat. Switching up when they need to. 57 Perfectress, but Firestorm did it so fast that Giga's actually going to receive garbage from that interaction.
a 70 ulti starting from like the very bottom of the board. That's crazy.
Oh, I think might have potentially been a mistrap on Giga's board. Able to recover still. But again, Firestorm is so good at dishing out pressure so quickly that things can get dire very quickly. Giga looking for the full zone meter. Doesn't get some before phase 3. Is just going to zone now, trying to see if their speed can help overcome the difficulty that is countering a 47 Perfectus from Firestorm. 44 Davotigger trip. And oh my goodness, the all clear saving Firestorm. Still having to accept about 4 or 5 lines afterwards, but it was going to be a very tough situation for them to handle without that extra 10 line bonus from the all clear. Things are very close, but this is kind of Giga's best scenario. Since they've won their last matchup, they don't want to let this go to waste. They have to win everything from here on out, but an unfortunate misdrop are going to make things very difficult. Firestorm has a quarter zone that they're able to play with, but it's going to be very tight. And Giga is able to dig through the misdrops.
Oh, that one more on top though, but Giga, just as quickly as that misdrop happens, builds up a fractal.
It's
gonna try to get as much as they possibly can here.
Alright, Firestorm only has a quarter zone. Trying to get more with this 4 wide. And Giga is gonna try and just build T-spin upon T-spin. Alright.
Oh, but that misdrop! And FS in a really rough position after that one.
T-spin triple. We can see the end of the garbage queue from Firestorm. Giga is still trying to frantically build up something to spike out Firestorm, but Firestorm is, generally speaking, kind of out of the terrible situations. But never mind, Giga is going to send everything all at once, force Firestorm to zone. But now Giga's in a bit of a tight spot with a couple of misdrops. Oh my goodness, such a fast zone from Giga. They know they have to play this as fast as possible. 34 Davotigger, but Firestorm's incredible efficiency, allowing them not to lose out on disadvantage. And now Gigawhat having to counter some lines.
Slowly but surely, Firestorm has come back, and suddenly this game looks a lot more even.
3.5 minutes. Giga is trying desperately to push Firestorm off, but the misdrops are so punishing, and Firestorm is so good at getting out of these tight situations. The efficiency really coming through. And this is a beautiful stack to zone with. 26 Octorisk. I believe Gigawhat has the full zone meter, but needs to play as... Just gonna need to pull out all the stops once again. Oh no, and a couple of misdrops! But Firestorm has a quarter zone, and they're going to try and use speed to their advantage. 15 from the 6-line Tetris. Another misdrop coming out from Giga, able to work it through with the Tetris.
Oh, and Giga stacks just a little too high. Firestorm able to catch them out with the spike to seal the set.
The T-spins again are the undoing for Gigawhat. Firestorm takes it 7-1, only dropping 2 games. Also is pleased to take the winner side of top 16 by storm, but it looks like, yeah, okay, I was trying to look at the graphics to see if Edge updated that already with who made it into top 16, but I think we're going to be updating the graphics. I believe with the 2-1 Jen has and a 1-2 unfortunate record from Gigawhat, I believe Jen is going to be advancing into top 16. I believe, if I'm correct, from all of our pools thus far, I think this is either our first or second tier 3 member who is making it into top 16. So very well played by Jen. The +2 round difference, 2-1. Lovely stuff to see. And Firestorm, again, a round difference of 19 is absolutely insane to think about. They're going to be, I think at this point, there's only 2 more matches to be decided. So at minimum, I believe they're going to be seed 5 for our top 16.